Alright, this problem wants us to simplify a radical. A radical is this symbol here, and it means square root. Square root is like the opposite of a square. So every operation has an opposite. 3 squared is 9. And if you wanted to undo that, the opposite, the square root of 9 is 3. Alright, so you're just asking yourself, what thing could I multiply by itself to give me this number? So I'm going to do the square root, and this is not going to be a perfect square, it's going to be the square root of 120. Now, I can't find a perfect square of that, but I can simplify it. I'm going to do that by factoring. Anytime I've got a number, I start by dividing it by 2. So I'm just going to cut this in half as many times as I can, because, you know, even when I look at 120, I don't know what the factors of that are. So I need to cut that down to size so that I start to get numbers that make sense. So 2 and 60, and is this divisible by 2? Yes, it is. 2 and 30, is that divisible by 2? Yes, it is. 2 and 15, and now I've got a number that's recognizable to me. 15 is 3 and 5. Alright, so I'm going to look for something that I can pull out because there's 2 of them inside there. So just like I could pull, guys, could we keep it down a little bit? Just like I could pull out the 3, because 3 here is the square root of 9, I'm looking for groups of 2 here that I can pull out because they're a perfect square. I've got one group of 2 here, but here's a 2 and a 3, that's not a perfect square, and then the 5 is not a perfect square. So I can pull one group of 2 outside, but that's all. So let me rewrite this. 2 times 2 times 2, 1, 2, 3 2's, and then a 3 and a 5. 3 times 5. That's equal to 120. And I'm going to take this group of 2's and I'm going to pull them outside. So it's now going to be 2 times the square root of 2 times 3 times 5. So 2 comes out, and these things are left inside. Well, 2 times 3 times 5, well, we know that that's 2 times 3, that's 30. So I can pull the 2 out, and I'm left with 30 inside. Whoops. 2 times the square root of 30. Alright, so that's our simplified answer. Let's make a double check to make that sure that that's correct. I cannot use the calculator to solve this for me, but I can use it to prove if it's right or not. So first I'm going to start by putting in the square root of 120, that's our original square root. And I'm going to get something that's very close to 11. Why? Because, well, 11 squared is 121, so the square root of 120 is very close to that. And then I'm going to put my simplified version in to double check. 2 square roots of 30. And if I did my job right, then those two things are going to be equal to each other. I push enter, and I did. So this, the square root of 120, is equal to 2 times the square root of 30.